Hallo und willkommen zum 42. Video von 3 Minuten Deutsch. Today we're going to be continuing our talk about the past tense, but this time we are talking about an entirely different tense than what we have before. The past tense that we've been talking about for the last several videos is das Perfekt, which is generally used when speaking in German. Sometimes, however, the Germans like to use the simple past when speaking, even though it's usually used with writing. We can also call this tense das Imperfekt, or we can call it preterite or preteritum auf Deutsch. Most of the time when the Germans use the simple past tense when speaking, it's because of two verbs, haben and sein. Today we're going to be talking about sein, next week we'll talk about haben. As the name implies, the simple past tense is simple. Really, it's only simpler because we have one verb instead of having two. There's no helping verb plus a past participle like we had with the present perfect. Obviously, you can also use the modal auxiliaries in the simple past tense, but that's something we're going to talk about here in a few videos. Since sein is irregular in every other tense, it only makes sense that it is also irregular in this tense. Here's how do you conjugate it. Ich war, du warst, sie es war, wir waren, ihr wart, sie waren, sie waren. As I mentioned before, these forms are used when speaking in German about past events rather than using the present perfect tense. So what's the difference? Honestly, there really isn't one. In my personal experience, there isn't a difference at all. You can either say, ich war gestern im Club, or ich bin gestern im Club gewesen. There's an argument to be made that there is a slight difference between the two of them in a connotation, but I'll let the native speakers fight that one out in the comments below. The fact of the matter is, it's just redundant to use two forms of sein in the same sentence. Bin gewesen is a little bit more redundant than saying war. This is also true of haben, but again, that's next week. Let's get into some examples. Ich war nicht da. I wasn't there. Warst du sittsam in der Schule? Were you well behaved in the school? Mein Bruder war sehr klug. My brother was very smart. Meine Schwester war nicht so schlau. My sister was not so clever. Mein Kind war damals 2 Jahre alt. My child was 2 years old then. Wir waren so jung und naiv. We were so young and naive. Wart ihr nicht schon in dem Haus? Weren't you already in the house? Die Kinder waren sehr laut. The children were very loud. Now that you have a little bit of knowledge about the use of sein in the past tense, try it out in the comments down below, or you can check out my blog link over here where there is an online exercise to test your knowledge. Das ist alles für heute. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss.